Hello, my name is Geogen and welcome back to World of Warships. I'm sorry I haven't done one of these videos in quite a while compared to the World of Tanks. And I know some of you do quite like World of Warships, as do I. So, I thought I'd bring you quite a spectacular game in terms of the amount of, well, just the amount of RNG involved in this game in the New York, which is a tier 5 American battleship. Mine is not fully upgraded at all, or it is now. It is now. Wow, that was weird. It is now, but not when I was playing. So at the time, I have really cripplingly slow turret rotation. My secondary armament is okay, but my anti-aircraft is terrible. My hit point pool is on the minimum end. I believe once you're fully upgraded, it's around 46, 47,000. I may be wrong. People can correct me, but. Anyway, tier 5 American battleship, the New York, it's... when I played it in the closed beta, it was okay. It wasn't a brilliant ship. I much preferred the Congo, and I think that's still true to this day anyway. But, forgive the camera angle, by the way, the replays are a bit broken in certain ways. Maybe if I do this in a free cam perspective, it'll be better. But anyway, yeah, it's an okay ship. It does have one less turret than that of the Wyoming, the predecessor, or the Arkansas, even though I keep saying Arkansas because that's how it looks like it's spelled, but anyone from Arkansas can tell me why it's pronounced as such. So yeah, you have one less gun turret, but each turret still has 2 guns in each, so you do still have quite the amount of firepower. Having one more turret than the Congo also means you can get those really nice spreads or salvos of damage, more so than that of the Congo, but the Congo is still a better ship in my opinion in terms of its speed and its range of its guns. It's just better, as well as its secondary armament. Its AA isn't as good when it's fully upgraded compared to the fully upgraded New York, but as I said, in this configuration, I only have some crappy 12cm machine guns on the top of those towers that you see at where the American flag is. There's some machine guns. I'm not sure if you can see them. But anyway, very poor AA regardless. I did upgrade the engine at this point, meaning I can go at a top speed of a blistering 21.1 knots. Music is awfully epic right now, even though I've just sailed and talked about the ship for about 3 minutes. But yeah, we're coming into range and we're aiming at, I believe... yeah, here we go. We're aiming at a Kuma, which is a tier 4 cruiser in the Japanese line, but more of a destroyer. We're firing armor piercing, by the way. We fire 3 of our turrets. And that's a disgusting amount of damage in the first opening salvo. 2 citadels. And I was greatly surprised. I just thought, oh well, that was pretty disgusting and pretty lucky, to be honest. So I won't get anything like that again, because battleships are very dependent on RNG compared to that of other classes. You can aim your shots perfectly, but because the guns have a huge dispersion compared to destroyers, cruisers, and secondary armament of all ships, you will not hit as many shots compared to those of other classes, especially the cruisers. Coupled with your crippling long reload time. However, there's a Phoenix, nearly said Omaha, they're pretty much the same, well they look the same anyway, who has got himself in a reverse motion, and we are struggling with the poor turret rotation, but we managed to get 2 shells away, sorry, 2 turrets away. Oh, wow, another citadel. That was surprising. So we're up to 3 citadels damage, 3 citadels done, and 1 normal penetration, or 1 normal hit, plus 1 enemy sunk. That poor Phoenix class. The New York, by the way, is much more maneuverable than that of the Congo in terms of its turning circle, but the speed is very, very slow. And we fire a full salvo on all of our turrets at the Myogi, and hit him for 5 of the shells out of 10. So that's not bad, considering most of the time you will miss a lot of your shells, unless RNGesus, as everyone in the World of Tanks and World of Warships community likes to call the process where you do just get exceptionally lucky. Almost reloaded again. There's about a 33-second reload at the time of playing. We managed to get all 5 shells away. Another citadel for 13,000 damage. These citadels are what battleships are played for. Everyone wants to get themselves a Montana or a Yamato or an Iowa at tier 9 and 10 kind of thing, and do those huge citadels to ships in the very late game. When I say late game, I mean late in the tech tree. But of course you can still do citadels with mid-tier battleships, much like that other Myogi found to his cost. So we've already done 5 citadels in this game. A huge amount of damage. I'm not sure how much just yet. Myogi is turning, and those shells are unlikely to hit. Unless he turns into them. We only hit him for 1,000 damage though. And that's something you're going to have to look out for with these weapons, is a lot of the time you will just over-penetrate, or you will fail to penetrate, and they'll either bounce, or they'll do 1,000 damage. Sometimes you, and as you saw, all 4 of those shells missed. But as you saw, these shells can do a huge amount of payload in terms of punishment and damage. However, the American ships up to about tier 7 are all very slow in the battleship line. They all have a stock speed of around 18 knots, and then they only jump up to about 22, 21, 22. The North Carolina, though, I hear is a good ship, and eventually I'll get myself one. With its good speed. There is the other tier 5 battleship, the Congo. And managed to hit him for 3,000 with 1 of 4 shells, not bad. Could have been worse, could have missed, as I have been saying. Now, battleships, you have to, be aware of torpedoes, but in this game I don't think I had that to worry about. You can see there's only 1 destroyer left on their team, and he's all the way at the top left of the map there. Once again reloaded, 2 of our turrets are facing Congo. Those shots look a little slow, and so we only get about 3,000 damage again. You have to be patient when you're playing these ships, because of the long reload, because of the terrible accuracy, because of the terrible rotation of the turrets, and in some cases the terrible self-defensive abilities of battleships. Let's see if those shells look a bit better, I think. Another 3,000, 4,000. This game was just unbelievable for me at this point, because I always have had difficulty with these New York classes. They're not brilliant ships, as I keep mentioning. I mean, some people may love them compared to the New York, compared to the Congo. You may tell me that in the comments down below if you want to tell me your thoughts on the New York. Myself, I just want to get past it and towards the New Mexico and maybe the Colorado. I hear the Colorado is a bit of a weak spot in the American battleship tech tree. Apparently it has awful secondary armor. Now, this island's just coming out of the way. Fire a full salvo. And we basically steal whoever's kill that was. We only did 800 damage to that guy in the final hit. So, 2 kills, 5 citadels, and 22 other hits. Not bad for a few minutes work. Well, this is quite a long battle, actually. I believe it's around 7 to 8 minutes long. I mean, I don't actually know. We'll see. So I could go to the left and meet up with that other battleship, but I decided to just continue straight ahead. We see that there are 2 enemy aircraft carriers in this game, and both of them are Langley class. They also have a St. Louis and an Isakaze destroyer left. The destroyer and the aircraft carriers are my main concern. Although the St. Louis does have a great rate of fire and could set me on fire repeatedly. Also, we've been quite lucky this game. We haven't been targeted a huge amount, and we've only received around, let's see, 6,000 odd damage. 6,600 damage. Haven't had to use our repair abilities or health abilities yet. Oh, Langley class. Still got the AP loaded. Hopefully we're going to go for those citadels. Waiting for him to turn so the chance of penetration is higher. And it appears he's a little slow because most of those shells miss. In fact, only one of them hits for 1,000. Doesn't do a full penetration. But still, we managed to get a good amount of damage. Well, considering 1,000 is better than none anyway. And here we go, the reload once again. Struggling whilst turning the turrets and turning the ship. Enemy torpedo bombers are incoming. Fire off a huge salvo though. Shells are a little too quick for the Langley, but we still managed to secure around 6,000 to 7,000 damage in several hits. But then we have to reload for another 20 seconds, or 30 seconds rather. 3 torpedo bombers are inbound, but fighters are on them. I mean, it's not like my AA is going to do anything right now, considering I have Browning machine guns. But in normal circumstances, I mean, fully upgraded circumstances, I would be able to kill those aircraft from about 3 kilometers range. Managed to hit again the other Langley, for 1,000. Missed those 2 shots. Now we're turning the ship around, which means we have to turn all of our turrets around. Except the front 2. But then I decide to cancel that and head towards the right, which is easier than rotating the turrets all the way around. And bingo. That's what we're talking about. Another citadel, another enemy warship destroyed, and it's just the Isakaze left. We've got the base under control. This game is over. And there we are. So as you can see, that was not a bad round at all. 260,000 credits earned, 2,616 experience, 131 free experience. Not for the first one of the day, which is a 1.5 times bonus, but just a normal battle, so that surprised me a little bit. 29 target hits with the shells, 1 low critical damage, 3 kills, and 6 very, very lucky citadel penetrations. And we did some progress towards that winner mission as well, which is just win 4 games pretty much. Team score, top of the team on kills, well, joint top in terms of we drew with the Murmansk, but we got 1,744 base, which is around 600 more than that of the Murmansk, which was the closest player, second player on our team. Langley on their team, von Kassel, he shot down 13 aircraft, and the St. Louis did well, considering he was in a tier 5 game, along with the other couple of players near the top of the enemy team. Commiserations to you guys for losing. And this is the screen which I was most surprised about. 109,000 damage done, almost 110,000 damage done in 35 AP hits. As you can see, we didn't fire any HE at all. Of course, we don't have any torpedoes, nobody got in range of our secondary batteries, and of course we don't have any aircraft. So that was really quite surprising, and you can see the game lasted around 13 minutes. I have never achieved anything like that in this New York. I think the closest I've come to that is around 80,000, maybe 65,000, something around that mark, but nothing close to 110,000 damage done. But again, that was due to those very, very lucky citadel penetrations where I did around probably 90% of that damage in those 6 hits. Be a bit more liberal, perhaps about 80%. So anyway, that was the New York in World of Warships. What do you think of this ship? I am not a huge fan of it, but you can see if you get lucky, you can get a huge amount of damage done and a nice credit haul. Of course, premium account, but still nice to see regardless. But as I said, tell me your thoughts down below. Do you like the ship? Do you prefer the Congo? Do you think one has so many more advantages than the other? Or do you think it's worth it just to go through the New York to go and get the later tier battleships? Anyhow, that's enough of me rambling. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like down below, and if you want to share the video, then that would be brilliant too. Of course, if you're new and you want to subscribe, that's fantastic. Also, I'll be making more World of Warships, more World of Tanks, and other things in the future. As always, I've been Geogen, this has been World of Warships, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.